Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV. It's Kate from Kate and Jimbo coming to you with the pre-match pump up of AZ Alkmaar versus Spurs, getting around the right way. I've got a very elite panel tonight of three gorgeous young men. I've got Ashmatic from Spurs Kings TV. I've got my one true love, my Jimbo from Kate and Jimbo, and I've got the wonderful El Tel Cockerel Jose as well. Ash, how are you? Long time no see.
Long time no see for real, man. It's good to be here. Big up the panel each and every time. Fantastic chat inside as always. Come on, you Spurs. It's time to progress into the next round. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here for positive vibes only. Let's go, man. Let's get it.
Yes, indeed. What a big night it is tonight. Jimbo, how are you diddling?
Well, you got one handsome young man in here, and you got two old codgers.
No, don't say that, Jimbo.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Kate. I've got this stinking cold. I can't get rid of it, but I'm here.
Man flu.
I didn't want to let you down.
Thank you. And Jose, how are you, sir?
I'm all well. Nice to be with you guys. Feels like it's been ages because I haven't streamed for a long time. So, because I've also been under the weather. But no, happy that football's back. God, didn't I miss it last weekend having the Tottenham game? So, yeah, I'm glad it's back. And yeah, let's get into AZ versus Tottenham.
That's the funny
thing. We never lost, Jose.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. We all went, it'd be nice to have a break from Tottenham not ruining our weekend, but then you miss them when they're not there. But there's only one place to start. As bad as it is to start on this note, Ash, it came out a couple of days ago that Kulu has got a foot injury. There was a picture of him with his baby looking kind of wistful on the balcony with a great big boot on his foot. How much of a blow is it that we're not going to have him for tonight and for however long he's going to be out?
I mean, yeah, losing a player like Kulusevski, a player of his quality and his importance and his leadership is a massive blow for Spurs. But if I can put a positive spin on it, I feel like in the last 4 to 5 weeks, he has been not 100% himself in terms of like impacting games, etc., etc. And I think this little timeout could do him the world of good, seeing things through a different lens, you know, being inside the dressing room, still having an impact, still supporting his teammates from the sidelines. But I think this rest was needed by him. And I think we've got enough quality in the team to kind of push on. Depends where you see Kulu. Some people would say in the midfield, we might miss him. But then I'm saying Maddison needs to step up. But then on the right-hand side, I do see where we could be a bit light because Porro, if he is playing right back, he does need that cover, and Johnson is then there are like question marks on Johnson's defensive abilities in terms of being physical, switching on, etc., helping Porro at the back at times when we are getting caught out on those quick transitions. However, it's not just Johnson that can play out on the right. We've also got other players that can play out on the right as well. As you know, our number 9, Tell, he can also play out on the right. That's what we brought him in. We know Odobert played on the right before as well. He can play on the right. I know Mikey Moore has played on the right for us. We know he's more deadly on the left. But we've got players that can basically fill in and give Johnson that competition if needed on that right-hand side. Equally in midfield, as I said before, we do have a leader in Maddison. So this is when we need our leaders to step up and actually show their worth and whatnot. And he's been on decent form of late, and I think he likes it when it's near to like an England call-up. All of a sudden, you start to see Maddison, kind of flick his collars up, kind of, pull those socks up and do what he does best, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I think the general consensus from everyone that I've spoken to has said that today's the day that Madders really does need to step up, because Kulu, he's not got the physicality of Kulu, but we need someone who's going to boss the midfield. Jimbo, how are you feeling about Kulu? And also, like Ash said, with Porro, he's been exposed quite a bit recently. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm not sure what he's going to do there. I think maybe he'll play Spence on that side. I've got a feeling he will, because Ash is 100% right. He does get a bit exposed. But I'm quite baffled what he's going to do tonight, Kate, if you want to know the truth. I'm a little bit baffled at what team he's going to pick. But someone's just put in the chat that Kingsky's is he not eligible?
That's what I just saw. He's not eligible? Are you not? Are you agreeing?
You can only change 3 players into the squad, and it was Danso, Tell, and Spence.
Okay.
They're the 3 that he ended up going for, because we obviously got cover. We've got cover with Austin, and then we've got Forster as well, and Whiteman. They're all in the squad. So because we had the cover there, we can only 4 into 3. We had to pick 3 out of the 4, and he's Kinski out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I agree with Ash about him at that right back position.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you, Jose? I mean, obviously, another injury blow. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back for Tottenham at the minute, I think.
One door closes, another one opens, is the way I look at it, a bit like Ash. At the end of the day, he was being overplayed, Kulusevski as well. We know that. And the injury was never going to be far. It's just not the kind of injury the other players have got. It's a foot injury, but it was never going to be far because he was playing every bloody minute of every game. But for me, personally speaking, I can see Solanke starting tonight and Romero both starting. I think Spence will start on the right-hand side, and because he provides a bit more, he provides a lot more defensive cover if Johnson's going to start on the right. Because if Johnson and Porro start on the right, then we're all out of attack again, aren't we? And then that's when the ball's coming behind. So I've got a feeling Spence will start at right back, and I've got a feeling that Romero will start with Danso at the back, and we'll definitely start with Solanke up top. I think the midfield 3 will be the same midfield 3 that played against AZ in the first game when we beat them 1-0, and that was Maddison, Bentancur, and Bergvall. Our defenders that day, our goalkeeper that day was Forster, and our defence was Gray. We had Gray in defence. We had what's his name? Davis, Dragusin, and a doggy at the back. And our front 3 were Werner, Richarlison, and Mikey Moore. I've got a feeling the midfield 3 remain the same. The other positions, apart from a doggy, we'll make 7 changes from that game that played in the first one against AZ Alkmaar.
Yeah,
but to be fair, just to add on to that, I'm not really scared of AZ's attack like that. I know they got the guy Poku. Poku was a bit like tricky. The black guy, he was out on the right wing, but that will be down on the left hand side. It won't be down on the right hand side, and so I don't really fear them going forward. I'm not too concerned about our right back situation, if I'm being totally honest. I know that's where teams seem to attack, but either way, if the doggy's on the left and Spencer's on the right, that's what we want ideally. But if you've got Porro on the right and and Spence on the left, either way, I'd still be happy with that kind of lineup, especially if, like you said, Jose, that Danso and Romero starting. That's a massive boost for us at the back. Do you know what I mean? So that in itself is something to be positive about.
Yeah, that's just my
Yeah.
feeling. Van Bommel's out for them apparently as well.
He
Because
is,
they
yeah.
Poku on one side and Van Bommel on the other. But Van Bommel apparently is out.
Yeah, apparently he is. I heard that. I mean, we were saying earlier on in the week, Jimbo, it'd be a bit cruel to take Danso out of this lineup if Romero and Van der Ven are both ready. I think Van der Ven is a week behind Romero with as far as training goes, but he's got to start Danso surely. And if he's partnered alongside Romero, it's quite exciting to see these two together, even though they generally play on the same side.
Yeah, but Danso can play on the left. Right? That's what I heard someone saying the other day. I didn't know that until I heard someone saying it the other day. But look, he's exciting, isn't he? I like him. He's strong. He's like an old style defender. Gets stuck in, slide tackles, throws himself in front of the ball. Everything a defender should do, in my eyes. And I really like him. And I said to you, Kate, didn't I, when he come, that I was excited about him. So yeah. It'd be a travesty if they take him out. I think he's earned his place.
No, he'll definitely play, Jim. Like, 'cause he played against Ipswich, I think it was, and against Leicester. Not Leicester, sorry, Man City, where we played in the last game. He played as the left-sided centre back. Sorry to cut you, Kate. Go on.
No.
I was going to say exactly that. There's no way that he won't play him. It's just whether he does start. I mean, does he start Romero Ash? Does he take the risk of throwing him straight back in, or does he start him on the bench? What do you think?
Well, Romero's been back.
Yeah, I thought you said yeah. So I'm just saying that either way, I'm still happy if Gray starts. I'm not mad at it because Gray's been like in possessions, been perfect for us. You know, balls over the top, switches of play. He's able to deliver that. He's comfortable in possession. Sorry. So with Gray being there, it's not a huge issue. And then if Romero did start, then it's like I said, it's a boost. And we did say when it comes to well, we didn't say it, but you know, Argentina's around the corner, and he's been named in their actual lineup. So no surprises there if he does start. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Jim. I mean, Jose. Go on. You're going to say something.
Yeah, go on, Jose. I
was going to say that Danso looks more comfortable on the left than what Romero did when he played on the left against Newcastle.
Yeah, I agree.
So Danso, Jim's perfectly right. He's an old school centre half, Danso, the way he plays, and it doesn't matter. In the olden days, your centre backs would play left or right. It wasn't like we'll play one on the left and we'll play one on the right. You played, and that was it. Danso's that type of player. Danso can play left or right quite comfortably.
Yeah. Obviously, we saw. Well, I don't know if you saw. I saw them all getting on the plane earlier. Mikey Moore was there. Mikey Moore, the forgotten superstar, who's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. Deleted some of his Spurs stuff off Instagram. There's rumours that he's going out on loan next season. Ash, what's happened with Mikey Moore? Do you think that he should go on loan? Do you think we're wasting him?
It's a weird one, and you know what it is. We had this kind of debate at the start of the season what we're going to do with the youth, because in pre-season the youth were electric, and then when the seniors came on, it kind of went a little bit. I don't know. That's what I saw anyway, and a lot of fans were excited to see the youth play, and then one by one they went out on loan, and the only ones that stayed were like Bergvall, Gray, and then obviously Mikey Moore. Those were the ones that were guaranteed minutes. Then Mikey Moore, in Europe, he was showing promise. There was a few league games he appeared in, and he looked like, the guy needs a few run of games. Let's see it. Everyone was excited about it, and then it all came to a halt. And like the game, I was disappointed when I thought I might see Mikey Moore on. I think it was either City or Ipswich, but Werner came on ahead of him, and I was like, oh man, why? Do you know what I mean? Because I thought like Werner, he openly. Ange came out and openly criticized Werner. So then I thought, okay, Werner, you're done. And then he was linked with the Red Bulls across America. So I was like, yeah, all right, cool. That means Mikey Moore is going to get more of a run out. And stylistically, he looks like he looks a bit more assured in possession. And in his final ball, looks a little bit better than what Werner does. And because he's got the higher ceiling, etc., you kind of want to see those kids given opportunity, especially if they're coming from the academy. And there was so much hype coming off the back of England under 17s, under 18s, and he's doing bits, whatnot. So it was like, yeah, why not? Like, and the way it was like, for me anyway, I can only speak for myself as a fan. I thought this was the time that we were gonna build out more youngsters and show more opportunities to young players, whether they be from our academy or from overseas or out the club. It didn't matter. And the players like Archie Gray, your Bergvals, and then even the other day, like you said, forgotten guy. What about Ajay? Is it Ajay? I forget his name. Ajay.
Yeah,
The guy that
Ajay.
came on, Ajay, sorry, but he come on against Elfsberg and he tore it up. Like the first few touches, I was like, oh, he looks all right. And then he scored the goal. I was like, show me this guy. I mean, Brendan Johnson's our number one, but this guy looks like he's got something about him. And then other people are saying in the academy, there's better players than him. And I'm like, so why can't we see these guys? I don't know. But obviously, we're not the managers. And we've been doing this like with Scarlets and Lancashire,
Yeah.
Lancashire's being shipped off. Anyway, I could talk forever, man. I'll just leave it at that, man. I do want to see Mikey more at some point, but yeah. Especially if we're winning by loads. If we're winning like 3 or 4, surely we give him like a little 10-minute, 15-minute cameo if he's on the bench. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Timbo, we've seen it with the lot up the road, whose name I do not want to speak, but with like WeAreTottenhamTV, how good he has been for them. It's hard for our youth not to be a little bit disillusioned, because when we had injuries, Mikey Moore was called into action. But as I'm saying this, the lineup's just come out. As soon as the players are back, he's kind of been forgotten about. But before we carry on with that, let's have a look who's in the lineup. We've got Vicario in goal, Spence, Gray, Danso, and Udogi. So Romero nor Van der Ven gets risked to start the game. Then we've got Bergvall, Bentancur, and Madders, exactly as Jose said. And then Johnson, Tell, and Sonny as the captain. With on the bench, we've got Austin, Whiteman, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Basuma, Sarr, Moore, Odebear, Scarlett, and Solanke. Wow,
Jeez.
Strongest bench we've had for a while. Jimbo, first thoughts on the lineup?
Yes, yeah. I think if you'd have asked me to my lineup before, that's probably what I would have picked, Kate. I don't think I would have risked Romero or Van der Ven, and I would have definitely had Spence at right back. So I mean, it's been a formula. The back four, they've done well. So I don't see the point of changing it right now. Get some more legs into the other players before we start them. He might bring them on if we're winning 3-0 and give them a run out. But I like it. It's a team that should beat AZ, in my opinion.
What I will say is I've just noticed that Solanke is. Oh, is he there? Oh, yeah, he is there.
Is.
Sorry. I was just going to say he's not on the bench, but he is there. Silly me. Blonde moment. Now, look, there's always one in every stream I do for the pre-match pump up. There's always a blonde moment, and that is mine. So I've got to go for the rest of the show without one. Jose, what's your thoughts on that lineup?
It's all right. It doesn't give me like woo vibes, but it's all right. If people are saying, or if people think to themselves, well, it's good. Well, Romero's not there, Solanke's not there. When do you start them? Because I thought that the higher energy game would be Bournemouth on Sunday, because the Premiership is high octane. Every game in the Premiership, doesn't matter who you're playing, is high octane. I don't think that AZ, Alkmaar away or at home, either way, is high octane. So I'm thinking to myself, well, when do you bring in Romero? When do you bring back Solanke? Because they're more high octane games. I would expect to be easing them into games. The ideal game would have been tonight. But who am I? Just a supporter, just a fan. I ain't the manager. I ain't the coaches. They obviously know what they're doing. And this is the lineup we've got tonight to go and do the business for us.
Well, I think, Jose. Sorry, Kay. I think that when you're integrating them back in, I always think it's best to bring them on later in the game when you know where you are in the game, then start them off, because the game's going to start off probably electric. So if we go 2-3 up, you can bring them in. It's nice and comfortable, and they can just get back into it again. I don't really like it when they start and when they've been out for a while.
That's what I was going to say, Jimbo. Maybe he's going to try and start without them and then bring them on later in the game.
Yeah, ease them in.
Ash, you're a technical mastermind when it comes to football. Anyone who wants to know tactics or anything like that goes to Ash. But I've got to ask your opinion on this guy, because he's splitting the fan base. What's your thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, I when I was doing analysis on him, I said that it where he will struggle and where he did struggle before was the hold up. If he wants to become a number 9, and I think that's what's showing. I think the coaches and himself, they need to work on that throughout this season behind closed doors, and if they are to take him on in the summer, which I'm not sure about, they're going to need to work on that desperately, because he does see himself as a number 9. However, I see him more of like a player that's on the shoulder as opposed to a target man, centre forward like that. I see him more as a striker. I don't know if there's a different term for it, or a wide forward, so to speak, where a bit like, Jermaine Defoe could skip past 1 or 2 players and then finish it. I think he's not Jermaine Defoe like that, because obviously Jermaine Defoe had a low center of gravity, but he's more of a maybe like a Son, where his body shape is more athletic. He can kind of dribble and beat players on the inside, and then he's able to create his own chances. That's what I liked about him when he first came. When he played against Manchester United, he was creating a lot of chances by himself, even though he wasn't finishing them. He was a bit eager on some of his shots, but the fact that he was making shots for himself did impress me. But I'd like him to be a bit more assured next time. And if it's on his weaker foot, maybe just change his feet, sort his feet out a bit quicker, and then use his stronger foot to finish. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, generally, I'd like to see him. If he is played later on, if we bring Solanke on, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the left. I don't want to see him married to the left, because I think you kind of lose him, and I would like him to kind of drift into that pocket. I call it like either inside forward or a wide 10, just in that area, just before you get to that box on the edge of the D, in and around there. Maybe like the centre forward looks after the ball, pins the centre back, and then he goes inside of them, and he gets those finishes. That's where I see Tell. But whether, because we've only got 2 to 3 months, there's a bit of a dilemma. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't got a lot of time as a young player, 19-year-old, to do all the damage that he needs to do. So if he scores 5 goals, will the fan base say that's enough? Are they going to be happy enough? 5 goals and maybe 2 or 3 goal contributions on top of that. Will that be enough for Spurs fans to say, let's use that 55 million that we got from that Kane sale to finance that deal? Or do we take that and use that for a different player and go for a different, profile centre forward? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like Richarlison's on his way out, possibly back to Everton, from what I'm hearing. Everton are open to a deal for Richarlison, and so that's why there's been so many links. And Lancashire might be going back out on loan for next season, along with Scarlett. Well, either him or Scarlett will stay, because we do have that homegrown issue at the moment. But
yeah. Look, I see a lot of potential in Tell. I think he's going to be a good player for us, but I get it. And like you say, actually, he hasn't got a lot of time to impress us. I think it sort of smells of Daniel Levy all over, that he kind of wants to take this guy on to offset the money for Harry Kane. But look, we'll have to just wait and see. Before I come to you, Jimbo, we've got 510 watching, only 52 likes, which is worse than a Timo Werner ratio. So please do smash the likes of Ben and Sim. It all helps the channel. Jim, I don't need to ask you about Tell, because we've spoken about him lots of times. Does that front three, do you think, spark any fear into opposition? I mean, Johnson, Tell, and an aging Sonny. Do you think there's any fear for Alkmaar there?
I don't think the players in the Dutch league would, and this is the whole of the Dutch league, because that's where they play. I don't think they're going to come up with too many players that are like Sonny. If Sonny is a player that's unique, and I don't think that many of them would have come up against a player like Sonny. So Sonny could be the talisman tonight in the front three, because of the tricks and stuff that he's got. Taking the player inside, taking the player outside. he struggles a bit more in the Premiership, or it seems to be on the eye that he struggles a bit more in the Premiership. But in Europe, he could probably open up people more because they're not used to him. With Johnson coming back and his speed getting into the back into the box late, and that, you know, he had something there. With Tell, I'm kind of with Ash. I watched Tell a lot of him when he was at Bayern, and I saw him as a wide left forward rather than right. I saw him coming a lot in from the left, and he ended up getting goals and he got assists from there. I just think it's horses for courses at the moment and needs must, and we're playing Tell down the middle until Solanke comes back. It wouldn't surprise me if Tell operated from Sonny's side and rotated with Sonny in the future. But for tonight, the one thing you have got there with all three, and I include Sonny in this, is that you have got frightening pace there between the three of them. If you amalgamated the pace that the three of them have got together, there's frightening pace there.
Yeah, I hear you. Jimbo, the bench, probably the best bench we've had for a while. Austin Whiteman, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Basuma, Sarr, Moore, Odegaard, Scarlett, Solanke. I think it's safe to say there are some game changers on there with the likes of Solanke, Scarlett, Odegaard. They're all capable of changing the game. Surely
it puts
now
a smile
is the
on
time.
my face to see the subs bench.
Yeah, surely
sure.
now's the time we've got to step up and start winning. The excuses are running out for Ange. We can't keep complaining about injuries when we've got players coming back.
You're so harsh. And aging Sonny, right? Excuses. Sonny's still.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Sonny is still a quality player, right? For me, he gets too much stick, right? He's had a bad spell, but you can't write Sonny off. You know, he's a fantastic player. So when people are saying like an aging Sonny and Sonny's lost it, sell him, I think it's very disrespectful, darling. I'm sorry. He's
called him aging. He is aging. He's 32.
He's 32, right? He's still got a lot to offer this team. He's been used a lot this season, right? And it's obviously affected him a bit. But also, what was the other thing you said that I didn't like?
I'm trying to think what I said now.
Ange. Let's talk about Ange.
I said with Ange. Now he's got the injuries coming back, the excuses. You know, we've got to start.
It's not excuses. It's what it is, right? You've got to look at the overall picture of it all. We've had a lot of injuries, right, which has affected this team massively. We've had young players that have just been thrown in at the deep end. We brought Jagus in, right? He never had time to bed in. He was thrown straight in, right? We had Danso, we never had time to bed in, got thrown straight in. You know, we've it's not. I don't think it's excuses. I think it's good reasons why we have been doing bad. Now, look, we got a good settled squad back and some good players coming back now with Solanke, Romero, Van der Ven. Your doggy's back. Let's see where we go from here.
But what I'm saying is, Jimbo, sorry, Ash, if we lose tonight, we can't turn around and go, well, we're ridden. Yeah, but if we do, we can't.
We won't.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. There's going to be a divorce live on screen in a minute. Ash, I'm going to come to you instead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you see the whole Sonny debate. It's interesting because when we played Man City, we started with Odegaard, and then fans were screaming back for Son, like, Son should have started. Do you know what I mean? Because Odegaard didn't really perform too well. But with Sonny, it was weird because was it Elfsberg in that first half? Everyone was like, wow, Sonny looks electric. And then against Ipswich, Sonny assisted 2 goals, and like he took his man on, getting into the box. He looked like his old self, and also he had I think it was like a week's rest, or he had more rest anyway. So I don't think he played or started the other game, whatever it was. He just looked a lot sharper in terms of like even his first touch. Sometimes his first touch is being baggy, sometimes his passing is being wayward, just in build up, etc. But in that Ipswich game, he just looked like he was on it. He was sharp. He was ready. And I don't know, and I'll let you guys answer this, if it's because of like the lower opposition. You see Son, he looks razor sharp, but then when it's against the bigger teams, that's when and it's not just Son as well. We can't just pin it on Son. I'd say there's a lot of players, a lot of the so-called leaders or the senior players, they've been missing this season. Do you know, we can't find them, we can't see them. So that's what's let us down. Because if Son's not playing well, then we look to Maddison, and then if Maddison's not playing well, you look to Bentancur. But all three of them, like, it's crazy. It's like a domino effect. All three of them, and I don't know if it's the weight of the armband that's weighing down on Sonny, if he feels guilty that he's not performing, and like I don't know. Like, what do you lot think? Why is Son's form being so up and down this season?
Do you want to take it, Jim?
Yeah, I think it's an accumulation of things. Ash, I think maybe being the number one now has affected him a bit because he's got a lot on his shoulders. But I think it's an overall of the whole team as well, right? If you look at our team when we've played, when they've all clicked, we absolutely smashed teams, right? And it seems to be what you just said. If one doesn't click, none of them click. It's really really strange. But I mean, I just think that it's been a lot for Sonny at his age to play game after game after game. He can't do that anymore.
It's the rotation. It's the rotation thing.
Yeah, rotation. Yeah,
and then wouldn't that be on the manager then? Wouldn't that be on Ange then? Like, for not rotating.
But he's had his hands tied a bit, Ash, isn't he? You know, with who he can play. So it's just been bad luck with the injuries, I think. But now we've got back, and we've got players back that we can rotate, and I really expect us to go on a good run now. I really do. I'm very excited about the end of the season.
Bad luck with the injuries, but also very poor decision making to not put Spence in the Europa League squad. Got to just put that in there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What was you going to say, Ash?
No, I was going to say, do you think that Sonny, sometimes he struggled on the left? We haven't seen him down the right in ages. He used to play on the right for us at one point. I remember that amazing goal ages ago. He scored against Chelsea. It was down that right-hand side at Wembley, and he's pulled down that flank, cut inside, and scored a goal. Do you know what I mean? So he's really good with both feet. I was wondering why we haven't seen like Son and Johnson rotate, and then that would give more room for players like your Mikey Moores to have more of a impact and more of a say in the game. Do you know what I mean? I know people will be like, you know, we don't want to rely on the youngsters, but then, like Kate said at the start of the stream, when Yeri had to fill in when Saka wasn't really there. Do you know what I mean? And he seems to be doing all right. We haven't. We might as well have, because our season hasn't been that great in the league. So I mean, Jose, what do you think? Am I talking rubbish?
That's my job.
No, happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm throwing it out there.
No, you're not talking rubbish. But I mean, with what, there's a bit of everything in this. Listen, but whether people like it or not, the injuries affected the rotation of the team, because if you haven't got players to rotate, then how do you rotate them? And it's clear and obvious that at one stage we had a bench full of 17, 16, even 16, because Hardy was on the bench at stages as well, and Hardy's 16. So you had 16, 17, and 18-year-olds on the bench that he just didn't really fancy and weren't going to give them a try. The one game you did see him turn it around and give them a try when Ajayi played, and you had Mikey Moore played that game, and you've got the other guy who plays for England with Mikey Moore. Forget his name now, but you know, and he didn't trust them all, so he didn't rotate them all. Now that you've got players coming back, you've got players of a level that it doesn't drop like that, or it's an unknown like that, because the gaps are far closer than what you got. Sonny, for me, what I've seen is that.
Oh, have we lost Jose?
I was going to ask Jose, would he have trusted Mikey more than he would trust Timo Werner? Because I saw Timo Werner being used quite a bit. Do you know what I'm saying? On that left-hand side, he was rotated with Son more so, and I felt like the general consensus of the fan base was that Mikey Moore should be getting more games ahead of Timo Werner. I remember in that cup game we played in that 3D pitch. Do you know what I'm saying? And in the is it the FA Cup? Was it FA Cup we played it, or League Cup? Sorry, it was in the League Cup, wasn't it?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, we played on that 3D pitch. And Werner was playing up front at the time, and he did not impress. He was really playing poor. Mikey Moore looked like he had a bit more about him. Do you know what I'm saying? But then since then, we still Tamworth, that was it. But since then, we still seen Werner get the goal. I know we're not going to see him in Europa, but just to that point, I just thought like maybe give that kid a bit more of a chance in that position. But I do hear the counter argument where you don't want to rely on you can't rely on the youngsters, innit? Even though, as I said, Ranieri, he's doing his thing. Do you know what I mean? Are we saying that Mikey Moore's not of that level? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But concentrating back on this game, I still think Sonny can do a job against, especially their right back, because that's where we saw Mikey Moore glow up against AZ Alkmaar at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when he came on. And actually, he started on that left. Or did he? It was the second half. I think it was the second half. He was on the left, and he just tore their right back a new one. And I watched a few clips of AZ Alkmaar when they lost their last game. I think it was 3-1. And the defense, they were making so much mistakes, so poor at the back. Decision making was terrible. But yeah, their right back can definitely get got at. And Son, in my eyes, he should have enough in his tank. And also, he didn't start against Man City.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why Sonny shouldn't be fresh enough to kind of, and they had another 8 days on top of it. It's not like, oh, we played on Sunday or what. No, we had the weekend off. So we can't even say that. We had the weekend off. They've had a full week's training. They've had time to get on their like little videos or their little iPads, watch their players, see how they work in transition, whatever. And they should be able to target them, in my opinion. That's what I'm going to say. Sorry, Jose, man. I know you cut off there.
Yeah, Sonny, Jose, you was in the middle of talking about Sonny and we lost you.
I know, it just went, I don't know what happened, but everything just blew up and everything just left. And I was like, oh my God, my laptop's closed down, my iMac closed down, everything did. I don't know what happened. What I was saying, I was finishing off the Son point, and all I was saying, for me, the way that I'm looking at this now is we've got players back, the strongest squad that we've had for in a long time now, from players that we can select. For me, it's like a mini season. It's not like a full season. We're starting at the start of the year. It's like a mini season. 11 league games and potentially 7 games in the Europa. So it's flat out, or flat to the boards, if you like, for the 18 games. Mini season. Let's see where it takes us. Now, today we end up playing. We play tonight. We play Bournemouth next week. Then we've got the return leg of this the week after. But we've now got a squad. So every 3 days, blah, blah, blah. We had that. That was old news. That's chip paper now. This is now 18 games. It's a mini season. Let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Jose. Phil P said, Ash, would you consider managing Spurs, please?
Hell no. Hell no. Is
that because you couldn't work with Levy?
Many reasons. Levy being one of them.
Before we go on to getting everyone's score predictions and everything, I'm going to start with you, Ash. Europa League. If we win it, if we lose it, does this define Ange's sort of season and his future at Spurs? Or
yes. I think if he wins it, he's definitely in a job. I think if he doesn't win it, I think he's still in a job. Me personally, I still think come the end of between now and the summer, he's definitely not going to lose it. Like if we got knocked out tonight, I still can't see him be replaced. If I'm being totally honest, I think he's in there to at least the summer. But then again, I can still see him staying past the summer, despite us not being in Europe as well. For a lot of fans, the reason why I say this, Kate, I'll put some context onto it as well. The reason why I say it is because I can't see fans inside the stadium singing "Ange out, Ange out." I really can't see it. I'll be totally honest. I know there's a really strong proportion of fans that aren't happy with Ange, and there's and I'm saying that they're actually Ange out, but there's another section where they're on the fence, and they're like, if we were to get knocked out today, that'll be it for them. Do you know what I mean? That'd be one step too far. But then there's another section of fans that they're happy to see him get to like a semi-final or final, and they still be like Ange in, but they're kind of in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? But I still think come this, I just don't. I can't see fans turning on him. If I'm being totally honest, it's just not in the fans. It's not in our culture. Do you know what I mean? I think Jose was different. Not Jose. I think Nuno was different. I think Nuno was different
Yeah.
because of his profile as a manager, like him coming from Wolves. I think Ange winning stuff, the mentality of him, that has a play into it where people think he's a winner and he can get us over the line because he's done it in other leagues. So they give him that pedigree, whereas some fans don't see that as enough pedigree in this league. And that's why they don't see him as a successor, because they haven't seen him do it at this level. I think that's where the two kind of butt heads. But yeah, I think the board, I think they've been actively looking, because they need to be in Europe. I don't think Spurs without Europe is a feasible thing. Do you know what I mean? And when they're looking in the summer, can they attract the type of manager they think that's going to help Spurs get to that next level? Or do they think, let's just stick with Ange and throw more money at him and see if that can kind of stick and if we can improve? Because I think that was the time he was here. Fans were listening. There was forums, like Levy came out, spoke to the fans, etc. Ange was saying it's all on me. Wasn't throwing players under the bus. He said all transfers are under me. And people love that because Conte and Mourinho were the opposite. And I think that's why fans fell in love with that. Oh, this guy, he actually likes Spurs. He doesn't think he's above Spurs. And I think that's also another factor of why people buy into him as a brand. Like, and he says, "You're right, mate." Do you know what I mean? He has a bit of fun with it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you.
And that's what we want as fans. We want a bit of, you know what I mean? We know a little bit of banter. Little barbecue banter.
I'm with you. I think that he's Levy's guy. I think no matter what, he stays till the end of his contract. I really do. Jim, are you of the opinion that no matter what, Ange is here for the long term?
Look, he's done some strange things. Like for me, like Ash said 5 minutes ago, playing Werner over Mikey Moore was baffling to me, because he's a good young player, Mikey Moore. And if he'd have played him a few games on a row, we might have seen a different side to him, a much better side to him. Where you know what you're going to get from Werner. You know, it's the same old thing, and he overtakes people, puts the ball in when he can do it, gets in front of goal with an open goal and misses. So you know what you're getting from Werner. But it would have been nice to see a lot of Mikey Moore. So I think that's a massive mistake by Ange. But look, I don't think Ange has done as bad as not everybody, but as bad as a lot of fans think that he's done. He got us to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. We beat some good teams on the way. We beat smashed Manchester, didn't we? You know, the whole of Manchester got us to the semi-final. We beat Liverpool in the first leg 1-0. And you've got to remember, this is with a depleted team, right? This is a team that he's had to sling together with what he had left. Got beat by Villa by the single goal in the FA Cup, you know, and look what Villa, the draw Villa have got now. And we're still in the European Cup. The league's been terrible, right? But you've got to look at the whole thing, Kate. The Premiership's very, very hard, even if you've got a full squad, right? It's still hard to take points off a lot of these clubs. All these clubs are fighting for something or other, you know, either relegation or to get into Europe, you know. And so it is a hard league. And I don't think he's done as bad as everyone or a lot of people say that he's done. And I think if he wins this cup, right, I think they should put a statue outside. You know, with the managers that we've had in that haven't won us a trophy, and this guy comes in with what he said, what I said, "Are you all right, mate?" Right, comes in with his kangaroo and wins us a European trophy, right? They should make a statue of him because it's going to be an absolute miracle.
Jimbo going with all the stereotypes. He comes in with his kangaroo just because he's Australian. Hilarious. And Jose, come to you last on that. Do you think
I just say, Kate?
Yes.
I think it will be an absolute travesty if he wins this cup and he doesn't stay. I think it'd be a travesty. He should 100% stay if he wins us this trophy. To me, he'd be God.
Oh my God. Jose, how do you follow that? I mean, what's your thoughts on Ange?
For me, Ange will be here till the summer, regardless of what the results are for the remainder of the season. I think there's a lot of spinning plates at the moment, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And all I'll say to people is, if you're a YouTuber, right, and you've got channels, don't book your holidays too early for the summer, because you will have a lot of content. There's a lot going on at Tottenham, and we will find out in the next few weeks what's been going on. There's a lot going on at Tottenham, and I think it all goes on, and then a lot of it will happen in the summer, but it won't be nothing to do with the manager.
So, do you think he will be here, Jose?
Yes, I think he'll be here. He'll be here till at least the summer. I don't think anything that happens in the next 18 games will mean that he leaves us before the end of the season. He will be here in the summer.
And what about after the summer?
After the summer, it's
if there's a takeover.
Yeah, it's all dependent on the people that buy the club in the summer, what they want to do.
Yeah.
In the next, I reckon in the next three weeks or so, we're going to get more information about the club being sold.
Oh, interesting. But that's in the future. We need to know what's going to happen tonight. So everyone, if you can put in your score predictions and who is going to score, please, and we get through as many as we can. Oh, there's the door. That's probably my takeaway.
Hello, I'm coming.
Reporter says 3-2 to Spurs. Can't see us getting a clean sheet as our defence is a bit suspect, but we can always get a goal or three. Insomniac says 1-0 Spurs win. Parrot own goal. Oh, don't like that. Oh, Parrot own goal. Yeah, that's all right. 1-3 Spurs go marching on home. Come on, you Spurs. 4-1 to Spurs. Ash, what's your thoughts on this? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna go strong, man. I'm gonna give a gym type of prediction. I'm gonna go for a nice 4-1. I'm gonna give a 4-1. I'm gonna give a 4. Yeah, man. Listen, I know it's away from home, but listen. There's times to be positive. I think now's the time, man. And I think the club needs it. I think the boys need it. Everyone's returning from injury as well, and yeah, people need to stand up in it. It's time for the players to stand up. I know the hostile environment, what was it 18,000, 20,000 stadium? But the boys will be used to that. And with the Poro not being in there, with a Spence and a Doggy there, yeah, we will have too much for them. Do you know what I mean? Goal scorers, Son might get on the score sheet, Johnson might contribute to. Do you know what I mean? I hope Pinto gets on the score sheet, because I want him to put a spanner in the work, and so we can have these type of debates. Should we have Tell? Should we not? Is he done? Was he not? Like, I want that kind of conversation to be had, because a lot of people are on the fence of them. But I'm looking for a strong lineup. But if we're not to get that strong win, I still envision us in the next leg just getting the job done. You know what I mean? There's no way I see Spurs getting knocked out early. I think Spurs win this comfortably.
Yeah. Big up to Samuel Lynch, been a member for 4 months, says like, subscribe, and come on, you Spurs. Big up, 4-0 win. Well, look, before I go to the gents, I'm going to do my normal pump down. And I've actually gone for a draw for the first leg, but us to win comfortably in the second leg. So I went for a 1-1 draw. I can see Jim and Jose like, oh my God. And I think Tell gets the goal, but I hope I'm wrong. Every time I predict a win, we lose. So I'm going for the draw, and hopefully I'll get proven wrong. But I also predicted PSG to beat Liverpool 4-1, and we all know what happened.
You don't deserve a takeaway.
Well, I paid for it, so it's tough. Jose, what's your thoughts on tonight?
I did my prediction as well, the same as you, Kate, earlier on earlier on this week, and nothing's changed my mind, and I've gone for AZ Alkmaar 0, Tottenham 2.
Nice.
Come on, Jose. Come on,
that's the prediction I went for. I mean, I love a clean sheet, and Troy Parrott really, against any of the 4 defenders, Troy Parrott really can. If Troy Parrott couldn't do it at our club, why is he going to go and do it for them? You know, I think Danso, and now it's Gray. It's not Romero, but it's Gray. They nullify him as a striker. So yeah, for me, 0-2 is what I've gone for. As for goal scorers, if I'm going to be pushed in it, I'm going to say Romero, and Solanke.
Wow.
Jeez, yeah. If PSV, if Arsenal could beat PSV 7, why can't we? Why can't we
Yeah.
destroy this AK Alkmaar, whatever it is, AZ?
We
Because
can.
we don't throw financial bungs. We
Yeah,
don't meet
exactly.
we don't meet in motorway services in Holland and start exchanging brown envelopes. We don't do all that.
Envelopes, yeah.
This is true as well. They did beat Galatasaray at home. 3-0. Tell Sonny Wilson. Oh, Wilson Odegaard. I was thinking, who's Wilson? Look, that line
free kick penalty from against Galatasaray.
Yeah,
They did
and
the job.
Galatasaray were great. But
yeah,
3-0 Spurs win. Let's go. Jimbo, we always have to
Galatasaray got rid of a load of players though. Galatasaray in the winter transfer window, they let loads of players go out on loan, and they just shipped out loads of players. They weren't the same Galatasaray they beat as the Galatasaray we played earlier on this season. So, you know, at the end of the day, but well done to them, because they actually roasted them in both games. So well done.
Yeah, they did. They did. If we're being honest, we did. So it'll be a game. We'll have a little game. You know what I mean? But yeah, still get the job done.
I was just checking the AZ Alkmaar lineup, and yeah, Van Bommel isn't playing, but it's the usual suspects with Parrott up front. 8-1. Now look, we've got to go 1-0 up to the others. Yes, he's playing. Yeah,
Poku's the one to look out for.
Yeah, look, there's their lineup. I don't know if you can read it. I'm going to try and attempt their names: Parrott, Poku, Lado, Classy, Burmester, Cook Miners, Makuma, Goes, Penetra, and Muller Wolf. I don't know if I said one of those, but well, Parrott was right.
Yeah, so, Kalassi's he's there like 10, I think. Kalassi's meant to be all right. I think he scored the free kick, and then the Coop Miners, whoever Coop Miners is, like their surnames, they always do well in football. Like there's
I was just going to say that
his brother's the one that's gone to. His brother was the one that used to play for Atlanta or whatever.
Atlanta, yeah. And he's at Juventus now.
Jimbo, we always come to last. Ash has gone for a big 3-1 or 4-1. Did you say?
4-4. I'm moving crazy right now. I'm moving like
Jose's gone for a 2-0. Yeah, Jimbo, what are you going with?
Well, first of all, it's very hard to when you say that they beat Galatasaray. Look, you can't class this game off of games like that. Arsenal beat City 5-1. When are they going to do that again? You know, games happen where teams play exceptionally well or get lucky, like Liverpool did last night. So it's very hard to judge games off of that. Well, I'm going to be a bit conservative and go 4-0. We're going to absolutely smash them tonight. Our guys are going to step up and they're going to absolutely smash them. I'm convinced. And the goals are going to come one each for all the front line and Madders.
Jeez.
So Johnson, Tell, Son, Madders.
James
Johnson. Yeah, Johnson, Tell, Son, Madders, all a goal each, and it's going to be 4-0, and we're going to smash the shit out of them.
I like it. I hope you're right. We do love a Jimbo prediction. Ash, before we go, what's happening over at Spurs Kings TV?
You know what? It's a bit of a free start at the moment. We might, I don't know, weekend we might turn up, we might have a little party. We're not sure yet. Tuesday, obviously, I'll do a little breakdown of what's going on. Anyone's welcome. I like to invite anyone. I'm not prejudiced. So yeah, that's basically an invite to anyone who wants to, even in the chat. If you want to chat when I come in, I don't mind, innit? If you're off the street and then you meet me in the street and you want to come on my show, you can come. It's a free reign here, man. Open doors, open sesame. And then Wednesday I do a little rivals, kind of a little chit chat with how rivals see like Spurs, and then we talk about their clubs, whatnot. And sometimes it gets a bit heated, sometimes it doesn't. But you know me, I'm a chill guy, and is what it is, man. Well, it's only football.
Exactly, that is all it is at the end of the day. But make sure everyone goes over and subs to Ash Marlon. Is it just Ash and Marlon now, or is it, who am I missing? Is Haz still
Ash
there?
And Marlon, Deji's about, but he's got his own channel. Deji's about, he's got his own channel. Haz is doing footwear now. He's a footwear model.
I did see
Well,
that
he's
on his
got-
Instagram, to be fair.
Yeah, he's all about the footwear. But he's got his calf as well, so we need to get down there.
Yeah.
Probably gonna record something live one day. But yeah, man, Hass is still part of the family, but he's just not on the YouTube channel as much. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Well, make sure you go and see them too. And of course, Deji with his domination in the location, which we all love to see. But Jose, what's happening at El Tel Cocorel?
This is my club. Well, I've been working. So working is quite difficult to get streams out. So basically, all I'm really down to at the moment is doing the predictions leagues, which I'm doing again tomorrow. Week 28 predictions. I'm going to throw 3 bonuses in there as well, and then I'll do a result show. Other than that, people find me appearing on other people's shows more often than not. I just need work to chill. If work chills, I can stream more. Just that works manic at the moment.
Right, so make sure everyone goes over and subs to Jose as well. I think.
What would be nice is if people did support me, because I'm nearly 2 years in and I haven't hit the 1,000 yet.
You're getting there. You're getting closer though, Jose. You are getting
inch.
You will get there. So make sure everyone goes over subs to Jose. I think we've actually got Deji on this weekend on the pre-match pump-up show, so that should be fun because Deji does always bring the good vibes, that's for sure. Please also sub to me and Jimbo. We do lunchtime shows about 12 o'clock. We've got our Premier League predictions tomorrow with Nick and Chang. So yeah, do come over. Stay where you are. You're going to be redirected to the watch along, which is Ben and Amir. You can all put in, if you want, hashtag lost my passport when you go in there, because Ben is supposed to be at the game, but he has lost his passport, so he couldn't go to the game. So yeah, please feel free to put in the chat hashtag lost my passport, just to rub it in a little bit more. But listen, thanks to everyone for watching. Thank you very much to Ash, Jimbo, Jose for joining me on the panel. Thanks to everyone for putting in their scores and everything else, and enjoy the match. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, wait.